The Fortnite solo PlayStation Cup is coming up, which is strictly for players who play on PlayStation, that being PS4 or PS5. But just before this tournament, we have the Surfwitch FNCS Skin Cup. This will be the exact same format, so if you aren't on console, I'd highly advise you still keep watching right until the end. It starts on the 3rd of September, 6pm until 9pm, so standard times, and the finals will be the next day, same times. It will be top 100 players qualifying into finals, and just by that placement you will be rewarded with $600, but more details about the prize pool later in this video. You will be rewarded with PRNS event and 8 points for an exclusive Zadie spray, so even if you don't make earnings in this tournament, it's always good to get your best placement. Playing on PS5 with 120 FPS will give you a better advantage over the other players since that's the maximum you can do. If you are on PS4 with 60 FPS or PS5 with 60 FPS, you still have a chance and many have qualified with this. But you just have to acknowledge you're already at a disadvantage, and beware many players don't keep in the mouse whilst in this PlayStation Cup. First game you want to W key since you aren't matched up with any players having the same skill level as you. This means you could be versus console players with 10 PR or even 500 PR onwards. Just don't underestimate your opponents and make dumb mistakes causing you to take damage. The point format has 2 points per kill, so I'd say try aim for 10 to 15 kills. First game, this will really set you up. A win is worth 7 points, but overall about 65 plus, counting all the placement. I'd say even if you aren't the W key type of player, always try win your first game with a couple kills, because that will set you up on track and lead you with a good mentality rather than hot dropping and dying off spawn. Second game, play it out how you usually would, prioritise capping out your mats, because end game that's going to be essential and the difference between getting the win or not. Still try to go for kills this game, but be aware of third parties because this happens more often in console cups. If you did milk the first 2 games, that won't make a difference since you still have 8 more to play. And if it helps, you can go back into creative just to clear your head. The best way to prepare for this leading up is playing solo rank just to get your confidence up and see how it feels playing in a lobby where everyone is competing to win. Also before this, there has been a couple constant victory cash cups which would be good to play, and it's actually easier to qualify because the top 500 teams qual. I would recommend watching my video on this because it's helped out many. Anything to get yourself familiar and playing at a high level, not versus your average ones running creative because that won't do you any good. Also knowing what weapons to carry and load out for rotation is important, which I'll cover later in this video. That being said, creative isn't useless. If you struggle with editing or top, then you can practice a lot on improving creative. Doing 20 minutes of 1v1 build fights every day will really help you improve to learn how different players fight, and you can highlight your weak points focusing on that every day. But if you think you're a good fighter already and have decent aim, then just work on playing actual games, that's the best practice you'll get. Moving into game 3, consistency is going to be the most important role for you. Especially if you manage to win your first game, you always want to try aim for top 5 every game as a minimum, because at least that way you'll get the most placement points and be on track. From the 3rd game onwards, you should notice the lobbies being more stacked. Typically more players are being passive rather than just double killing or spawn -D, they're actually trying to win now. If you are worried about Storm Surge, I'll briefly explain what to do so you can handle it. In this tournament you will only notice Storm Surge either if you're on really high points early in, for example 4th game having 250 plus points, almost commonly seen in the last game. This is because no one likes to find the last match in hopes of getting the most placement points, and not risking fine because they're scared to die. We can find out easily if Storm Surge will be in your game by a couple indicators. Number 1. If you have 80 plus people alive after the second zone closes. This implies this game is more stacked and everyone is playing passive, but sometimes this does happen and the lobby dies out. Secondly, if you have 40 to 50 people in a moving endgame zone. Now if Storm Surge is active in your game, most casual players who aren't familiar with it immediately panic and start mindlessly shooting. The best thing to do, avoid being behind Storm Surge, is fighting or spawn. This will give you easily a free 100 to 200 damage, and this is the easiest surge you'll get all game because some players could have no loot or bad loot compared to you. If you don't fight off spawn, that's not an issue, just get tagged from far away. I said this before in solo tournaments, it's a grief fest, so expect lots of third parties and getting beamed across the map mid-fight. To prevent this, block your sides and be aware of every fight. That's for early and mid game. End game, if you have no Storm Surge, you must have been playing very passive or didn't get enough damage. You wouldn't see Storm Surge trading in solo events unless it's finals, so don't worry about that. End game, look when people are rotating and try to get tags whilst they're trying to get in. The rotation this season is crash pads, making anyone who uses it very open and vulnerable, so if you have good aim, it should be an easy 300 damage. If you see anyone get very aggressive and opening up the box for Surge, focus them because you can either get them lobby focus or get Surge out of them. 4th game, because there will be about 50,000 people playing in this tournament on your region, you're going from the top 50,000 to the top 1,000, it's a massive jump. And obviously the lobbies will change, so you can definitely expect to go up against the smarter players. Just stick to what you've been doing and always try get an early rotate so you don't get punished. Since we are a little bit into the video, I'll talk about the ideal loadout you want to be carrying every game for solos of hopefully increasing your chances of winning a game. For rotation this season it's very limited. You can have crash pads or fizz. When you have a maximal endgame, crash pads will be the clear factor everyone will be using. If you don't have any of your own, try listen out for players around you using theirs and recycle it, but don't get too late or you will get lobbied. Fizz, everyone will use this on short rotates. Just tap it once and jump repeatedly. Make sure to block your back though, because you'll get 100% have players trying to grief you. I honestly recommend holding both of these items because Fizz can be used as shield or used to prevent fall damage or making height plays. If you really want to be smart, after you use your crash pads, look behind you and shoot them out, making sure you don't get followed behind. This will also help you if you're trying to avoid a fight. And on the screen right now is me showing you how to use a crash pad endgame without being beamed for all your shield. Don't overcomplicate this, just do it slowly and it'll work every time. Now on to the weapons. We have the Wrecker Revolver, which can be used as a shotgun and the range is extremely overpowered, hitting up to 70 plus damage from far range. It also has a high amount of ammo before needing to reload, making this the preferred shotgun for the season. The Sentinel Pump is close behind, dealing good body shot damage but most known for the strong structured damage, making it easy to replace builds for your own. And any other shotgun is not worth picking up unless it's your only resort. Second gun being the OXR rifle, which is the new AR for this season, which is very accurate and the only one you should be picking up. There are lots of heals for this season, so making a good decision can be hard. We have chug splashes, slurp juices, med mist, medkits and minis, so on. I would only recommend holding slurps if they are golden, which can be found from gold loot drops. In my opinion, the med mist take too long to pop, so holding medkits is the better option even though you get healed less. Your loadout should be looking like this: Wrecker Revolver, Fizz, Crash Pad, 6 chugs and an OXR rifle. Realistically you'll use all the crash pads endgame, so if you find a refresh you can replace that with more heals. The launch pads are also in play for rotation, but if you want to go from 200 to 0 out of the sky then go ahead, especially in a console only tournament that aim doesn't play around. The only exception to use the launch pad will be a very fast zone pull and you're a dead side. Fifth game, if you aren't placed at 1k or lower, you're definitely doing something wrong and need to slow your games down. If you find that you're dying off spawn a lot, then you need to change up your job or have a different approach. Usually I would give you 3 drop spots to work with, but since it's the same map you can just check my previous videos or just go somewhere you're familiar with. The difference between round 1 and round 2 is in round 2 it's 3 points per kill, but they're obviously more harder to get since you'll be against the best PlayStation players in your region. First place gets rewarded with $5,500, second place $3,500 and third $2,500. The top 50 players will get $800, so it's still worth trying around 2 rather than just playing for top 100 getting the $600. It's definitely a good amount of money to be grinding for. Looking at the placement now in round 1, it's very heavy. From top 50 onwards you'll get 1 placement point rather than top 25. If you get a 0 kill win, that will be 63 points alone. So you can imagine with that the points to qualify will be higher. With that being said, it's the most important part of the video: how many points you'll need in order to qualify into round 2 finals and make earnings. And with this you can judge throughout your games how well you need to be doing. So it'll be around 360 to 400 plus points on EU and NA Central, the main regions for a safe call. But it's always best to go a little above just so you aren't right at the ball and have no stress. This also seems to be the last Fortnite solo console tournament of the season for a while, so make sure you give it your best. Just focus on placement, since if you win a game with only a couple of kills that's still heavy points and can set you up. And if you mess up some games that's fine, don't go in expecting to win every match because that's just unrealistic. Always make sure you're going into endgame with capped mats. If that means boxing up and going out to refarm, then do so. Just try not to take damage going for it. I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully you watch this in time before the tournament starts so you can practice applying these strategies. And comment down below how many points you think you'll get, then come back after and comment how much you actually got. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Peace.